Installers are routinely finding their expensive MPPT charge controllers completely fried, even when their solar arrays look perfectly engineered on paper. You match your panels to the spec sheet, and everything adds up. But weeks later, you find blackened circuit boards and blown input stages. The failure usually traces back to how the series string was originally sized. Many professionals calculate their array limits using VMP, the operating voltage, or they rely exclusively on standard test conditions. Standard test conditions are laboratory parameters. They assume a perfectly controlled environment with a constant panel temperature of exactly 25 degrees Celsius. But an outdoor solar array doesn't operate in a climate-controlled lab. It faces wind chill, overnight radiative cooling, and extreme ambient temperature swings. When those panels freeze, they trigger the exact mechanism destroying these controllers: cold weather solar voltage spikes. As the temperature of the semiconductor drops, its electrical characteristics shift. The silicon becomes more efficient, pushing the output voltage significantly higher than the printed label. The absolute highest risk for an instantaneous overvoltage event occurs right at dawn after a cold, clear night. Charge controllers do not have a flexible ceiling. If your MPPT is rated for 150 volts, exceeding that limit by even a fraction of a volt can instantly destroy the input stage. To engineer an off-grid system that actually survives the winter, we have to look at the exact physics of why freezing silicon produces so much excess voltage. Every solar panel has an open circuit voltage, or VOC. This is the absolute maximum voltage the panel produces when it is completely disconnected from any active load. This is completely different from VMP, the voltage produced while actively charging. When designing for controller survival, maximum open circuit voltage is the only metric that matters. To see why VOC fluctuates, we have to look inside the solar cell at the PN junction. When ambient temperatures drop, the internal resistance of the semiconductor changes. The cold environment alters how easily electrons move across the junction. Because of this shift in resistance, the baseline voltage output increases steadily as the panel gets colder. Many people assume that winter weather inherently reduces a solar panel's overall performance, but cold actually improves the electrical efficiency of the photovoltaic process, simultaneously driving the voltage up to hazardous levels. When you are designing a system, a freezing panel must be treated as a physically higher voltage component than what is printed on the label. This single-cell behavior becomes a severe problem when we wire multiple panels together to form a series string. In a series circuit, current remains constant, but the voltages add together. 3 panels, each with a VOC of 49 volts, stack up to produce 147 volts. Many common MPPT charge controllers have an absolute maximum input rating of 150 volts. At the standard 25 degrees Celsius, that 147-volt array sits just below the red line. Legally and technically, it passes inspection, but that leaves a safety margin of only 3 volts to account for all outdoor environmental variance. An overnight temperature drop will easily generate enough excess voltage to push the array past that narrow 3-volt gap. The series wiring acts as an amplifier, compounding minor panel-level temperature fluctuations into a catastrophic system-level threat. The highest risk for this failure happens at a very specific time, a cold, clear morning just before dawn. The arrays have been sitting out in freezing temperatures all night, giving the silicon maximum internal efficiency. This graph shows what happens the moment the sun clears the horizon. Solar irradiance strikes the array almost instantly. But the physical mass of the glass and aluminum takes significant time to warm up, so you have intense sunlight hitting freezing cells. Because of this thermal mismatch, the array's open circuit voltage violently spikes upward, blowing past the 150-volt limit before slowly dropping back down as the panels finally begin to heat up. There is one more compounding factor that makes sunrise so lethal: the zero load state. At dawn, the MPPT controller is just booting up, and the resting batteries are not yet pulling any current. This creates a true open circuit condition. The system is experiencing absolute maximum voltage with zero current flow to pull it down. You can also see similar extreme mismatches later in the day when rapid cloud edge irradiance hits cold panels during winter afternoons. The sunrise spike brings together maximum irradiance, minimum temperature, and zero load, bypassing standard safety assumptions and exposing the controller to raw, unregulated voltage. When that voltage spike travels down the wires, The damage happens entirely at the microscopic level inside the charge controller. The input stage relies on highly sensitive components to regulate the incoming power, specifically the MOSFETs and the input capacitors. A 150-volt max input label is a hard physical and chemical limitation of those exact components. It is not a suggestion. When the voltage surge forcefully breaches that semiconductor ceiling, it triggers dielectric breakdown. The excess voltage arcs through internal layers, destroying the silicon structure. Sometimes the controller dies instantly, emitting a loud pop and smoke, but often the destruction is much harder to spot. The components experience latent degradation. Microscopic damage accumulates over dozens of cold mornings, slowly weakening the MOSFETs until you start experiencing unexplained intermittent failures weeks later. Exceeding the maximum voltage rating mathematically guarantees eventual hardware failure by permanently compromising the silicon. To prevent this, professional off-grid designers abandon standard test conditions entirely and calculate for absolute worst-case environmental scenarios. This is the temperature-corrected VOC formula. It allows us to predict the maximum voltage a panel will produce at its coldest possible state. The equation uses the baseline open circuit voltage and the temperature coefficient, represented by beta. You can find this beta value printed directly on the back of your panels. Delta T represents the maximum expected temperature drop below the 25-degree lap standard for your specific geographic region. If we apply a standard beta coefficient to a drop down to freezing, our technically safe 147-volt string mathematically climbs to 158 volts, blowing past the controller's safety threshold. Even installers in moderate climates are vulnerable. Winter wind chill and overnight radiative cooling can push panels far below ambient air temperatures. Mathematically proving your headroom using the beta coefficient is the only acceptable way to ensure your controller survives the winter. The ultimate design rule is simple. Never build a solar array right up to the maximum controller limit based on paper math. But getting the math right is only half the job. Working around high-voltage strings that have compounded in the cold introduces severe physical dangers. Physically probing strings that are experiencing extreme cold weather voltage spikes requires strict safety protocols and properly rated measurement tools. Unlike alternating current, high-voltage direct current has no zero crossing. This makes it highly prone to sustained, continuous arcing that will not extinguish itself. This is why you must never manually break an MC4 connector while the system is under an active load. It also strictly dictates the disconnect sequence. You must always isolate the solar input first, before disconnecting the battery terminals, to prevent the MPPT input stage from becoming dangerously unstable. Real-world weather never respects laboratory standards. Mastering the physics of thermal voltage expansion, combined with rigorous safety protocols, is what separates a professional installation from a dangerous amateur build.